And we're live. Welcome, everybody. We're here today with CODAME artists Lisa and David from KnownOrigin. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hello.
So wonderful to see you all. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to be talking about.
Oh, no.
No. I'm excited too. I'm very excited. So let's carry the excitement.
The excitement was so much it came off. So I'll take over for a while. So essentially what we're doing tonight is, hey.
Sorry, yeah, my internet dropped out. I'm back. So yes, we're going to have an introduction from David. I heard you started already. So if you want to tell us about KnownOrigin and behind the screens, and then we get started with our wonderful artists today.
Hi, so my name is David Moore. I'm one of the co-founders of KnownOrigin. We are one of the leading digital arts platforms built on the Ethereum blockchain. And we actively seek out kind of digital artists and then try and bring them into the crypto art scene. And that is how I came across the CODAME. So I was on the hunt for kind of digital art artists that were like really pushing the technology or like doing something really different. And I found CODAME, and then I realized that Lisa had applied and talked to me about creating a collective, which kind of got the brain going. And then she talked to her artists, which we have with us today. And one thing led to another, and now we have this situation where we have the CODAME collective, the collaborator CODAME release edition, digital artworks backed by blockchain through KnownOrigin. And behind the screens allows us to find out a little bit more about the artist, and that's the thing that excites me. It's great seeing the artwork out there, but I kind of want to get to know who's creating the pieces, what their inspirations are, what the processes are. And with Serena and MoCDA, we have a chance to talk to you, which I always love. So I'll pass over to Serena to take the conversation, and I will say goodbye, and I will be watching on YouTube and Twitter. So thank you everyone for joining, and I will see you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So we're all very excited to be here today talking about this wonderful project, which has recently appeared on KnownOrigin. So we welcome Lisa Kolb from CODAME as one of the co-founder, and Jordan as well, and Snow and Char as artists. So thank you all for being here today. I'm going to pass on the word to Lisa to give us an introduction about the project.
Okay. Thanks, Serena, and thanks, David, for this opportunity. I just wanted to give you a little quick background about CODAME. CODAME was founded in 2010 to celebrate art and technology and the value of creativity. It offers workshops and inclusive art and tech projects and events, and supports creators and gives them a forum to showcase their art. Today, we are unveiling new initiatives to better support and showcase the work of our 300+ artists. We've pivoted with virtual workshops, and actually Char is one of our instructors. She teaches an amazing shader workshop, and there's one coming up actually on September 20th. And we're now also, we've created an online store and virtual galleries as well. And now, we're excited that this is allowing us to have a worldwide reach as opposed to, just being in the Bay Area. Actually, one of our last workshop on generative drawing was taught by someone from India, which is really amazing. Anyhow, so I want to talk about today, we're launching our virtual gallery and store, and it's a combination of typical offerings, print, merchandise, and wallpaper. And now we've added new offerings with crypto art and video prints as well. So we were so happy to have this partnership with KnownOrigin to create kind of a collective with our artists all launching at the same time. And the way we work with our artists is educated them about the crypto space, and then I walked them through the process of applying and then tokenizing their work. I'm gonna jump into our new virtual store. And then the other thing about the store, once we're in here, I'll show you more, is that we have a physical piece that goes with each crypto art piece that you can either bundle together or buy separately. So let me share my screen.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right, so we're going into, this is the CODAME Art and Tech site. And so as you see, there's workshops and projects that we do and events as well. But here's the tab for the new shop, and here it is. I'm gonna walk you through. So here are 7 featured artists that we're launching the shop with. And then at the top, we have Char, Snow, and Jordan, who will be speaking shortly. And as I mentioned, we offer prints and merchandise and video prints as well. And now I will jump into their pages. Hold on. Here's Char's page. Combination of offerings. And Jordan's page. And here's Snow's page. I think I'll jump out of this. Stop screen. Anyhow, and then we also have a live, a virtual gallery that will go live on Thursday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, which will showcase all of their work. So we'll include a link to that as well. And thank you. Looking forward to hearing from our artists.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lisa. Also to remind everyone, you see down here the Twitter handles of the artists and CODAME. So if you want to keep up to date with all the workshops, activities, and the artists' latest works, make sure to jump on social media and check them out. And also on the website that you just showed. Wonderful. So without further ado, I would love to introduce our artist today. And if I remember correctly, we are starting with Snow.
Sure, we can do it.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah. Should I just go ahead? Okay.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to welcome you to KnownOrigin Behind the Screens and introduce your work. And if you want to give us a bit of an introduction about how you started your collaboration with CODAME and your artist practice.
Yeah, sure. I will go ahead and share my screen too. So that way, when I talk, you guys can see some of my work. So I think it's gonna be screen 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And also to remind, of course, take your time to remind everyone watching live that you're more than welcome to ask questions as we go through this live. So if you do have any question for our artists, Lisa or KnownOrigin or all of us, please make sure to submit your question and we will have a live Q&A.
Yes. So hello, everybody. I am Snow Yunxue Fu. I am a international artist who's based in New York right now. Besides being a new media artist, I'm also a assistant arts professor here in New York University teaching new media 3D art. So I teach what I do. And I just really want to give a big thank to Lisa and, CODAME, Jordan's team. They've been really wonderful working with me and other artists back and forth. So many emails and messages trying to get our work out there in the world, available for you all. So definitely check it out. Check out the website. Check out also the new releases that all 3 of the artists will have. on KnownOrigin. And thank you so much for Serena. It was wonderful talking to you last time. So I'm glad that we're doing it again. And this time in relationship with KnownOrigin and David and everybody else. I'm really excited about doing this. So I have a few minutes here. I'm just going to play this video, which is a collection of different excerpts of my artwork. So that way you guys can have a sense of what my practice is while I'm talking. So normally my artwork does have sound, but for the sake of conversation, I'm just going to kind of mute the sound. So you will be seeing the images as I'm playing. So the first piece you're actually seeing is a installation view of a piece that I'm releasing in KnownOrigin called Gorgeous. So this is a 3-channel 3D moving image artwork, and like this piece and other pieces that you will be seeing. So I work kind of in general under the umbrella of kind of like perception in the virtual and digital lens, especially interested in concept like liminality and the techno-sublime. So I create 3D environments and spaces where I provide the viewer kind of a space and a time to kind of confront with the liminal space of the digital space. So you see that, there's sort of, you're looking at kind of like a recreation of an ocean right now, which is from my piece called, Trench. And some other pieces, whether it's, a model of a pool, or maybe it's abstracted bodies morphing. So there is a relationship to the reality, the physical world, as we know. I come from a painting background, actually. So a lot of my digital work draws from that. So this idea of the sublime, this kind of confrontation of oneself's mortality into a luminous space. I think digital space is such a good sort of upgrades of the contemporary, so to speak, subliminal experience. So as an artist, I really like to create that for my audiences. So this is Cars, which is modeled after a cave from my hometown in China. And then Gorgeous, the very first one, as you see, is a 3-channel piece. So it's functioning a little bit more like a triptych, a sort of immersive environment as well. So I also am really interested in sort of artificial saturated and RGB colors. I think that's so sort of digital native. It is hard and to get pigment like that from nature, but kind of digital space provides you not only a reflection of the physical world, but also sort of a impossible kind of access or impossible exaggeration or extension onto from our physical space. So the possibility is limitless in a way, and you'll see a lot of kind of water in my work. So in Gorgeous, the water came as kind of river particles. And here, this is my project that is called Conjoin series. They're kind of human body forms that is merging out from each other and then into abstraction and then coming back. So I still actually think of myself as a painter, even within the digital. And a lot of my work can be prints as well as installation. And Lisa mentioned there's going to be video prints, which I think is really cool. Nice piece of object to have. I think those are all the ways that one can immerse my work, immerse yourself into my work. So just kind of like a last, I think, a couple pieces here to show. Here are like some of my most recent Fire series. So I think I'm probably not going to take that much more time, since you guys probably want to hear from the other two artists as well. But feel free to check out more of my work. Again, first of all, on CODAME site and KnownOrigin, and feel free to check out the rest of my work, on my website, snowYunxuefu.com, or my Vimeo site, so that I'll be dropping more artwork too, so that it will be available through CODAME and KnownOrigin. Thank you so much again for this opportunity and time. Yeah.
Thank you, Snow. It's such a wonderful presentation, and thank you so much for showing us all your body of work. It is very interesting to see how you've been mixing different kind of media, and your experience as a painter has sort of influenced what you currently do, plus your teaching experience, and the fact that you are sharing your knowledge and culture with young students, I think is very important for everybody within this community space. Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. We now have Char, is that right? Are we passing on to you? Thank you for being here today. It's wonderful to have you.
Yes, thank you so much, Serena. I'm so happy to be here. I'll also share my screen first. That's what I've done. I loved your talk, Snow. I'm so excited. I'm really excited that I'm going after you, because a lot of the stuff that I do kind of is in similar, but very, very different, especially in the way that we go about creating it. So a lot of my work is a lot about the tooling. So I am what is a live coder, which means that as I code as a performance, the code graphics. The graphics are displayed behind the code in real time as they're being created. So what you see here, what's happening, this is a live coded performance. I'm making the visuals that you see that's in the background with the code that's in the left, and then I'm collaborating with a musician who's on the right, that is Dan Gerbling. Unfortunately, you can't hear his music, but he is all over the live code scene. You can find him on live code NYC, livecode.nyc if you want to see his work, how he makes music with code. But so here, this is what is known as an algorave, which is a portmanteau of algorithmic rave. And the work that I specifically create, so it's not only just kind of like the code that you like, the kind of algorithm that I use to create the code is an algorithm that is known as ray merging. And this is where, when I heard Snow say the limitness that brings in visual work, this is what the reason why I love using ray merging. Because ray merging is an algorithm that allows you to code pixels the same way that light works in the world. So the same way that photons bounce around in the world, you can program rays of light to bounce around the same way. So then you can but you are the one that's programming it, so it does not have to obey physics exactly. So you can make like the refractive index of something that's squishy the same refractive index as diamonds. So it's like squishy diamond. So you'll see that in the piece that I released for KnownOrigin, and I'm really excited that I get to talk about this, because there's like a lot how it came to be looking like these gooey chains, and it's because of the mathematical algorithms that I used to create them. And so you see these iridescent chains that seem to have like a hardness to them, because like they have a structure to them, but because I'm using like math to describe the chains, I can interpolate between a chain, something structured, and a gooey floor, and so you get these kind of like in between spaces. I should have said this before, but how I got to know CODAME was because of my live coding work. It's kind of like, so you see the code behind what I'm writing, so it's this kind of like pedantic way of performing. I wanted to extend that even further and teach workshops. It's literally like, so you can like see the code and you kind of understand what's happening, but without the background, you don't really have like a full deep understanding. And so through CODAME, I can teach workshops to people to explain exactly what's happening, like line by line, and then people can become live coders themselves in a matter of 2 hours. That's my goal, is to teach everything that I know and eventually be replaced by one of my in the workshops, I wanted to show the page on CODAME. This is what the workshop sign-up page looks like if you're interested in learning how I make pieces. That's there, and how, if you want to see more of like sketches. I'm trying to get away from Instagram because like I don't. The more I think about it, the more it's like making art to be garnishing to heads. So that's another reason I'm so excited about being involved in KnownOrigin. And I think eventually I'll kind of shift more towards using KnownOrigin. Something that I'm looking to do in the future maybe would be to look at how I can include maybe like the code that created these chains, like with it. That's something, it's in its infancy. And you're all here because you're like me, because you're excited about the potential. One thing that I'm excited about is possibly like figuring out a way to include like the code as part of like the object that is sold along with the picture, because that's kind of like, I guess that's kind of like an important question why I make the things that I make, because I try to be as transparent as possible with how I make it, and to maybe eventually open up a broader conversation about developer transparency. Because we all consume things that are, especially now with COVID, we all consume things that are digital or programmed by people that we've never met, we've never seen, we don't know what they look like, we don't know what their intentions are, we don't know how many people made the software that we're using, or anything like that. So anyway, so that's the kind of like call to action, like developer transparency, like kind of understand who's making what and how they do it. I think friends, would I be friends with them? So anyways, oh, and I just linked my website in case you want to see my other work, because I don't just do live coding, I do a lot of other collaboration stuff. So I mean, the kind of like broad theme for all my work is like collaboration. I can't think of the last thing I did that wasn't. So anyways, I am so excited to have this opportunity to talk about my work with through this platform. So I'm really grateful for me, and thank you for Serena and for putting this all together. And any other questions, feel free to ask. And right now I can we can answer them, or I have my DMs open. So.
Thank you so much. Yes, and thank you for showing us work on KnownOrigin and explaining your work, your background, and how you got to know CODAME and collaborate with so many artists. I think what you just said about creating that collaborative space, and again, as well as being able to communicate and share that knowledge with others. It's such a powerful tool of sharing a common language and build the knowledge together also for the future. And I would love now for Jordan to introduce us to his work. And I also have a question for you, because I know you've been involved with CODAME from the beginning, and somebody is asking what actually CODAME means. I'll just grab the question from the live.
All right, question about what CODAME is. I will slightly rearrange my slides to get to that at the start of it rather than the end of it. And I will share my screen. Yes, the whole thing. Give me the whole thing. See, do you see the slides now?
Yeah, we do. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me, and all the stuff that's been shown is so cool. I've taken Char's workshops and they are so much fun. You don't have to be a heavy coder. You can just change some values and things just explode and look cool. And then it's really an honor to be showing next to Snow, who I've known since I.O. Festival years and years ago. So it's like cool to finally be doing work together, or not together, but on the same platform in the same show. And also thank you, Lisa, for making the whole store thing happen. She didn't really underline how key she was to this whole thing. It would not have happened without Lisa. And of course, thank you, Serena and David, for KnownOrigin and just making the space for all these artists. But CODAME, what is CODAME? It's something that I started 10 years ago with my friend Bruno. And our whole thing is inspiring technologists to value creativity and to also provide artists with potent opportunities. And the store is an example of that, but there's so many more as well that we've done over the years. So we hold play really core to our values, and our Art and Tech Festival is exemplary of that. It's a nightlife experience where there's just interactive installations to explore and performances and all kinds of things like that. And when people see that, they also want us to bring those kinds of things to their like corporate parties and to come in and spice things up around the offices with art installations and things like that. So we always bring play into everything that we do. And then inclusivity is also really important to us. Our workshops are designed so that you don't have to be an artist or a technologist to approach them and to have fun with them and to come and make something cool in them and to walk away feeling like you are both an artist and a technologist. A lot of times it's just that barrier, the very first like cusp of dipping your toe into the water that is so painful that makes people think like coding is impossible or what is art even? But by being able to get over that lip, we see people really like lighting up and making incredible work and sharing it on social, and then also in the galleries that we've been putting together to show off the work as well. So that's what CODAME is. And some stuff that I do. The stuff that I'm releasing on KnownOrigin is some of my analog video synthesis work. And this is something that I've been up to for a bunch of time. Analog video synthesis is all in the SD domain. So it's all like technically quite low resolution, but the frequencies are really high. So you get a lot of stuff that's really like at the edges of perception of, and really the definition of reality. This is what it looks like. This is me pondering reality with all the wires, and it's a lot of patching these things and knobs, and it's very hands-on and physical and fun, but it's all still just math and logic. So it's in some ways it's like shaders in that you don't have to know exactly what you're doing. You can just plug things in and experiment and twist the knobs. But in other ways, it's very logic driven. And if you have an idea of how you want to combine things, then it's really, anything can happen. And when I say anything can happen, I think that modular synthesis attracts people, or either lets them realize that anything is possible, because there is a very large trans community in the modular synthesis community. So it's like people start patching and then they're just like, well, let's change everything. Besides the just like standard visual like output, we also do like GIF booths. They're basically GIF booths. So this is from one that we did at a New Year's party for Kink.com Armory. So we would do these kind of like video loops, video synthesis setups where people can make GIFs of themselves. And then this is the latest. When I say that it's really high frequency, I probably should have said epilepsy warning or something, but yeah, things flash, and it's probably, you can't even see it flashing because the encode is so bad. But this is the kind of thing that I'll stare at and actually just get lost in. And I have a friend that I was doing a project with, Clonic Optics, and she's epileptic, and she found this video synthesis to be really soothing because you can dial in the flashing so that you can kind of like program your brain that way and get locked into frequencies and like make things chill or energized or whatever. But yeah, when I'm staring at it, I wind up feeling pretty chill, even though it's like a lot of flashing and stuff like that. And then what comes out of it? These are all stills. This is what I'm actually releasing, and these are stills from the series. And to me, what is so fascinating about the analog domain is like everything gets this kind of soft edge, and while it does have a distinct digital feel, it's also very soft, and I like those kinds of dualities. So even in this piece, in the texture of what I see as the sky and mountains and so on, you can see the texture of the ridges of the logic that's coming together to make these shapes. And this is part of a triptych. So this is the middle piece. And then this is the bottom piece. And when they come together, it's kind of this stacked triptych of, I see it as a pretty sick seashore. That's what I see. So I've minted the first one, and the whole series will be out shortly. Just watching those gas prices, trying to catch them at good times. But this will all be available shortly. And as Lisa said, if you want to pick any of these up with the physical print, then there's a bundle that you can do, and it'll cost less monies. And I'm not sure how often I'll be releasing video synthesis work. I have a pretty good library of things that I've done, but I'm trying to feel out the appetite for it to see if this will be like a monthly or weekly, or what I want to do with the actual release schedule. And then some other art. So I do multimedia art, all kinds of different art. The other crypto art thing that I'm doing is this Lo-Fi Uncanny series of ANSI dockies. So I make these pillows using AI neural transfer algorithms, and they're very weird and creepy and off-putting in the imagery that's kind of twisted. And to encounter something like that in life size is especially odd, because it's one thing to see a painting of a face that's like, oh, AI weird, but to have a whole body that you can interact with that's AI weird is another thing. And even though it's weird, people don't seem to really bat an eye too much at it. I mean, I do get told that it's fairly specialized interest in like a very particular thing, which it is. But when people encounter it in the real world, they have fun with it, and they don't have any qualms exploring the experience of Lo-Fi Uncanny. One of the problems with doing AI art is the resolutions, and to print Dakimakuras, you need super high resolution. So one thing that I did to solve that is to start encoding these with ANSI, which I love because it's kind of a crypto thing, get to stick secret messages in there. And also I grew up on BBSs, so to come back to that kind of aesthetic is just really soothing to me, and it feels like a good thing for a plush toy. Go back to some retro kid vibes. This is a little bit of the process. This is a China factory that I was working with. They were sending me process photos as the work was being printed, just to check in. And then some other prototypes. There's different fabric types that you can get. And people in the Dakimakura community will really nerd out on the fabric types. This is just 4 kinds of tricot, which is lycra basically, that were popular. And now there's probably like 6 of them that people are switching between, but it's a very nerd hobby. So another thing that I saw was this new couch painting go for like $157 million. And I was like, wait a second, I do the exact same thing, kind of, but large format containing the entire figure. That's a Daki. Geometric modeling where the features break up into abstract curves and shapes and come together in lively and experimental ways. That's a Daki. That's an ANSI Daki. Iconic series of sensual images and reimagining the nude. Well, can't tell if they're naked or if that's like robot skin or what's really going on in the Dakis, but it does feel sensual in some way. And relatively anonymous subjects. Relatively because depending on how much anime you watch, you might be able to tell some of the influences or source material, but that flip perceptually between real and no real. And that's definitely one of the things that trips me out when I'm looking at these, or even like the video synthesis, is just that kind of almost vertigo feeling where you feel like you're on the edge of something and you can't tell which it is. So here's a little preview, things that'll be dropping. These are gonna come out on a monthly basis. And yeah, then I also make music, beats, weekly beats. In 2018, I did it. I'm doing it in 2020. All of these are out under the Creative Commons. And that means that you can grab them, reuse them in your own art, remix them, put them in movies, whatever you want to do. It's all free. Except if you want to pay me for it, then it's $1 for each beat. But you can also ask for a download code. So to me, the biggest thing is not getting paid for music, but music is a way of expressing that kind of transcends a lot of language and vocabulary and gets to pure vibes. So when somebody takes what I've done and remixes it and reuses it, to me, that's a much more satisfying and powerful experience than a monetary transaction. And I don't have a slide in here for it, but Warrior Princess King is somebody I've been collaborating with the last few weeks on a EP that she just dropped, where she does raps and singing over 4 beats for that EP that dropped. Got to check that one out. And then we've got some more coming. This is how I make the music. The core gadget. It's all on iPad. I used to do a bunch of Game Boys and stuff. And then I also use AI, incidentally, for my music. So I use Lander to master all my tracks, and it's like an AI mastering service. And I love it. I think it's really great. People can fight me about that. A lot of people that do mastering will say that it isn't any good. And I agree that it lacks the human touch, but mastering in itself is just a process of having somebody to bounce something off of and to get something back and be like, actually, that's not how I thought it should be. And then you can do some mixing and send it back. And that loop is really tight when you're doing it against an AI. So it's the whole collaborative, robot as a collaborative partner thing. Works really well for me for the mastering process. CODAME, back to CODAME. 2020, every year we look back and we're like, what went well? What could have gone better? Where do we want to put our energy in the future? And this year we wanted to do workshops, really focus on the workshops and do the shop. So Lisa's been owning the shop and I've been working on the workshop. So here's a pile of workshops that we've done. It was kind of wild transitioning to online, but as Lisa mentioned, it's made a lot of things possible that weren't before, such as being able to do workshops with Char, who's on the East Coast when we're on the West Coast, being able to do workshops with Samarth, who's in India, and also getting attendees from all over the place too. We've been asked, oh, when we're out of quarantine, are we going to still have online workshops? Because I don't have this where I'm at. So next one, August 30th. And we're going to be doing a series of building interactive installations using Arduinos. And you probably want to order your Arduinos ASAP because this is only a few days away now. Coming up is collective creativity. And this one is very much about storytelling and being introspective about your thinking process and using that for problem solving and expression in a collaborative environment. And this is actually happening as part of the Exposure Festival, which CODAME is doing in partnership with the European Union and the Grid, which is an offshoot of Open Austria, and in conjunction with the other giants of the San Francisco art and tech scene like MuTech SF, 01, and Gray Area. So don't miss that. September 10th to 13th is Exposure Festival, and this is part of it. Another workshop we're doing as part of Exposure is Sketching Worlds in 360. This one is super fun, and when I was talking about accessibility of our workshops, this is a great example of kids being able to just step up to this, start drawing on paper, and then see the worlds they make in a photosphere in VR is super cool. A lot of fun, a lot of smiles. It's also fun for adults too, not just kids. Char, we got some more shaders. Can't get enough shaders. Come on September 20th, get more shaders. And then my own teaching that I do is about moving meditation. And I do this wild goose moving meditation, which is about as weird as it sounds. It's technically Qigong, which is kind of like yoga, but it comes from China. And it's all about watching animals and getting an understanding of what they do and then embodying it to get fully in touch with your senses and mind-body connection and all this kind of like Taoist immortality type stuff. It's a lot of fun. You get to flap around like a bird. What more do I need to say? Online, Wednesday and Thursdays. So that's it. That's what I got. That is my phone number because I accidentally deleted my Twitter. Starpause is also where I am everywhere in the world, so you can just look for me. Obviously, go on KnownOrigin.io/K9D and buy the artworks using all of your cryptocurrency. And store.kodame.com has the other stuff, everything else that's going to be released. And yeah, if you have any questions, ideas, etc., reach out, get in touch. I love to collaborate, talk about possibilities. We're always looking for more workshops. I'm always looking for collaboration partners. Just, yeah, get in touch. And yeah, that's all I have. That's all I have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jordan, for such a comprehensive presentation about CODAME project and your own practice. And thank you all for telling us more about your projects. I would love for us now to have a conversation about how you have been, for example, putting your first work on KnownOrigin and how that felt for you. And also, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first time you're tokenizing your work, or have you experienced that before? Char,
it's the first time for
nodding.
me. Yeah. Although I got into cryptocurrency like just out of interest because I was like learning about kind of like I was learning computer science in 2016, and there was a Bitcoin ATM in Pittsburgh. But it's the first time I'm tokenizing my work, so I'm so excited to finally be here.
And Snow, what about you?
I've actually tokenized my work before in Maker's Place, but I'm glad to do it with CODAME and KnownOrigin this time. It's different work, of course, and I think it reached different audiences as well. So yeah, I'm interested to explore more of this crypto art world.
Wonderful. Yes. And also it's very good to remember that this is part of our collaboration. So the work that you'll find on KnownOrigin, it comes as the artist work and also as part of our collaboration of CODAME. Maybe Lisa or Jordan can explain that aspect.
Yeah, Lisa can fill in anything I don't get because I'm sure to miss something. But it's so cool that you guys were able to enable for us this idea of joint minting, which I think is really powerful, and one of the cool things where crypto actually shows some like value as opposed to other ways of releasing art, the ability to actually say like this happened together, and then to let the funds distribute as they're supposed to and everything is really cool. So that's from my perspective, like the coolest thing about this release with KnownOrigin is we haven't been able to do that anywhere else. So it feels like the platform is really a step ahead in that regard.
Yes, which I also find very interesting. And Lisa, how is that experience feeling for you for the first time? Or have you experienced that before?
So I have to say, like last night when everyone was tokenized at the same time, they were all on the homepage of KnownOrigin, all three of them together. And I was just so excited to finally, like after all this work and working with them and leading up to it and organizing, to see that was just amazing. It was an incredible feeling. Like, and just also to be able to finally launch these, CODAME artists into the crypto art world. Well, I know Snow's been in before, but anyway, just together in KnownOrigin with the collaboration.
And will you be looking to also include more artists into the space? I'm just curious to know what's happening next.
Yes, oh yeah, definitely, yeah. These guys are the, the launching group, and hopefully we'll get some more.
The platform is the whole benefit of it, because we can all do our own like hype online and all those things, but without having this platform, it's kind of like when you're in a band. A band is always going to be more popular than a solo performer because you got the 5 people that all tell their friends. So when all the CODAME artists come together and do the same thing, I think that's what has really helped make our festival popular, and I think will help make our store popular too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you just said is so, sort of creates a nice image of a band of artists working together and collaborating. What really came out of our conversation today is the fact that collaborations is so important for sharing what we do, but also making it known by others. And also the fact that you have workshops, it is something that I would say, you should really be proud of being so inclusive and having the opportunity of sharing that knowledge with others. Also, just to remind everyone, the workshops will be fully accessible online.
Yep, that's true.
And I'm just sharing here the link for everyone to go and check them out.
Yay. Thank you. Yeah,
and
the idea is I have always been a fan of like amateur art and kind of naive art, and I see all those things as good things. I think that creativity is like just core to life, and it's literally creation. So when people can realize that as well and feel comfortable creating, that is so cool. And when we see that happening in the workshops, that is what gets me really excited and has kept me going at this for 10 years. And then it also does mean more artists in the collective and having new voices and new perspectives in the art scene, which is always welcome. Diversity is strength. So yeah, really excited about all that.
I just wanted to add that it's been really cool seeing what CODAME has been doing. Jordan mentioned that we actually know each other for several years, and if my recollection is correct, I think we met when we were both waiting in line at a SIGGRAPH conference, Jordan. And
Iowa SIGGRAPH, huh? Okay.
yeah. And but then you were telling me about CODAME and your practice, and then I think soon after that, you invited me to be doing a event at CODAME, and then we sort of had a different collaborations since then, and now it's KnownOrigin and the CODAME store, and talking to Serena from MoCDA. So it just one thing kind of leads to another, and I think that really illustrates how this community works really well for each other. Not only the artists but the organization and also the audiences, right? So that they can have more access to different artists as well.
Yes, that's so important. Thank you so much, Snow, for actually sharing that bit of story with us. And yes, as we are concluding this panel today, I just wanted to tell everyone to go and check out your wonderful work on KnownOrigin. Check out the Twitter platforms as you see the different pages down here. And also to learn more about CODAME, all the wonderful projects, the workshops, and the artist shop as well, and get some merchandise. It's also very good to know that prints are available, as Jordan was saying, if you're interested in getting the digital and the physical work. That is also something I think it's very important to have. And to really thank every one of you for being here today. And if everyone has questions to ask, it will be very good to keep talking about your projects and check out the editions and the work that you currently have on KnownOrigin.
Great, thank you.
I would love for you to share one last thought about your experience and how you are working on your next project or what is coming up for you and your practice. Maybe we can go around. Char, what is your upcoming project? What you're currently working on?
So right now I'm working on getting into music a little bit. So the same way I mentioned that you can write code to create the visuals, you can also do the same thing with music, and it's a very similar concept. So I hope to kind of be creating the music for work. Right now, the music on the piece that's up right now is by a duo that I adore, Slow Danger. They're a dance duo, and I've done live coding for their dance performances before. They're so open-minded about including everything into their dance. So shout out to Slow Danger. But that's so I think it's that and just being in quarantine. So it's just that.
That's a common feeling, and also the workshop that is coming up. So
I feel like that's been so consistent. It's like it's always happening. Like I'm really excited for that to keep on going, because we always get new people as like the kind of word gets out.
Absolutely. And Snow, what's coming up for you?
As a professor at NYU, our semester is about to start next week. So a lot of work, and my emails just kind of gets burdened, I think. But that's exciting. And I'm actually going to be teaching all my classes online. So and I actually been enjoying doing that, so I really look forward to this next semester, teaching some different new classes, and then my personal project is always going on. I always have kind of multiple projects. So I mentioned earlier that one of my newest series are relating to fire, or the image or the discourse of fire, as sort of maybe commentary on how things are going, in society and such, and so I'm building up different scenes, either in virtual reality or in Maya as animation, to kind of have multifaceted sort of output for the project. So stay tuned for, I guess, new work coming up. Besides being an artist and teaching, I also do a bit of a curating. So 2 of the programs I'll be curating in the Supernova Festival coming up in September, I think 15th, are going to also be shown. So feel free to check out the Supernova app for that too, and that will be sort of curation of other contemporary 3D artists' work, and a lot of them were my former students. So
sounds very exciting, and a full program for you, Snow.
Yes, thank you.
Good. And Jordan, what about you? What are you working on, or what's coming up for you next?
Yeah, for the CODAME community, like Char said, things are kind of always on. And one of the things that we're doing is making it easier to stay connected even off of social media. So we spun up a Discord where after a workshop, everybody can stay in touch from that workshop and share what they are working on, and ideas and things like that. So the CODAME Discord is a new thing that I'm excited about, and seeing the community starting to show up there. And personally, exploring async art right now, so doing a collaborative piece with a few different artists, which is exciting. And then yeah, there's always so much stuff to do. I don't want to spill too many beans. there's lots more video synthesis coming out on KnownOrigin, and there will be more dockies and so on and so on. And I know that Lisa's got exciting things coming up too, so I want to pass the torch to her.
Ooh, let's hear it from Lisa. Thank you so much, Jordan. And yes, Lisa, after you. What's coming up for you?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, we are going to have this show in the virtual gallery. Actually, it's hosted by New Art City, and the URL for that will be, it'll be live on Thursday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. So that's gallery.kodame.com. And beyond that, I am taking CODAME workshops, and I want to become an artist, an artist myself. So I'm working to that effect. I'm going to be taking Char's workshop in the interactive installation shop, and I do some sculpture work myself, but I haven't really made the move to digital yet. So, but I do have like a graphics background as well. So I'm excited for that.
Super. Maybe that would be your next thing.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's been such a wonderful time to spend together and to learn so much about your projects. Thank you so much for sharing your artistic journey, and for it's very good to welcome you to KnownOrigin. So we'll be looking out for upcoming news through social media, CODAME platform, the gallery, and the shop. And make sure everyone to go and check out the wonderful work of Jordan, Char, and Snow on KnownOrigin, released today.
Great,
it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Serena.
Thank you.
All right, we'll stay in touch, and yeah, make sure to check out the work on KnownOrigin. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.
See ya.